At this time, I'd like to introduce Ms. Zavon and Roy Fury Hill. Can I give her a Lucy King?
I'd like to ask my elders for permission to speak, please. Peace and love to the elders, Queen Mother Mpya, Mommy Mani, Mama Ademoy, board members, faculty, parents, students, and friends. First and foremost, giving honor to God, who is truly the head of my life and who without whom I would not be here today. I was asked to speak about my time and my experiences at the prep school and as King Gozi. And I remember in 9th grade, I was a little reluctant to come to the Shule, considering that it was an African-centered school and culture wasn't something I really thought too much about. But at the Shule, through the rites of passage, I have a sense of self. I know who I am and I know my role in the never-ending struggle for freedom. I remember when I was first met King Gozi of Mpya, I was real happy. I told all my family and friends. Half of them didn't really understand what it was, but they were still happy for me. And then anxiety began to set in. I started thinking, what if the Papa falls with me as his leader? So I wrote my Hasina a letter, explaining to her that I wasn't the one and that I wanted to resign. We talked, but of course she wouldn't let me quit, and I thank her for that now. My Papa sisters gave me so much encouragement this year. They kept pushing me forward. This year we worked on and successfully restored the sisterhood back to a Papa. I love being Keon this year. It taught me how to handle a lot of things, from the smallest problems to the huge and very serious ones. The Shule has taught me a lot of life lessons, and I'll never forget them. But I really like to thank my parents for supporting me and pushing me to succeed. Mama, this diploma is yours, you earned it. Mommy, Mommy, I love you and I hope I didn't cause you too many problems. Mama Hasina, I have nothing but love. I've learned so much from you, and the things that I've learned, I'll never forget. To all the teachers, I love you, thank you, and I'll never forget any of you. To Karita, the Omega, the last, like Calvin Klein said, just be. To Osaya, you know I love you like a play cousin. You're bright and you're beautiful, and I know you will succeed with more knowledge than you ever thought possible. To Kwame, we made it, it's over. Now it's time to show the world what's coming next, and don't forget about school in the morning. Shamika, who used to be scared, just keep the cycle rolling. To my Adekanke, when you realize your full potential and the power that you possess, no one will be able to hold you down. And for the leadership of next year, just do me one favor and don't let my sisters fall. To Terry and Keon yet to be appointed, take care of my sisters. Aquavian, I love you, y'all my brothers and soar high. So Papa, remember 2 things. 1, we set the standards, and 2, women hold up the sky.
And now if the senior members of our choir will join us on stage, we're going to have 2 selections from the DuBois Prep Choir in their premier performance. Let's welcome them, please.
Sweet
Ryan.
Next to Baba Adisa and Mama Hasina, who taught me out of chaos comes, out of chaos comes order. I go forever. To Isoke, Nadia, and her family, you're truly my eternal reflection. Mommy Mani, thanks for the million chances you've given me. To all the Walimu, especially Baba Manu, who stayed on my back from day one. Thanks. And to Taifa and Mpya, throughout all the hardships, y'all know we made it. And this is from my man Kwame. He wants to give recognition to his mother, Victoria Brooks. He loves you. To his second mother, Valerie Bernice Brock, he loves you also. To his third mother, Ayan Jacques, he loves you also. And to his father, Richard Beard, he also loves you.
Greetings. I'd like to ask permission from the elders to speak. Greetings, elders, guests, faculty, students, and friends. The quest for leadership was always not my path, but yet it still is my destiny. To understand where I'm going, I must know where I've been, and I'm proud to say that the shoelace is where I've been. For 9 long years. Drumming, singing, and a little bit of dancing, but most importantly, learning. Not just learning the main subjects, but extra subjects, which help to give me an extra consciousness of myself to know who I am and who my people are, which could only be provided from an African-centered prep school education. Leadership is just a bonus if you understand the full mission of this school. And this mission has helped produce groups like W.E.B, which teach young black men manhood training. That I'm proud to say that I have the privilege of being Ken Gozira. With my brother Jose. This year we were given a position to lead, and that's what we did. And I'm happy to say that I've worked with a group of brothers who understood my goals and helped me to reach them. I love ACO 99, but I can't wait to see ACO 2000. The next generation after Y2K hits. I knew leadership was my calling when I found myself leading everything, from the drum corps, the basketball team, the cleanup crew, the student council, the crew eating Coney after school. And some of those same people went to work with me afterwards, so the shoelace didn't stop at school for me. I know that the next circle of leadership will do just as good and hopefully better than we did. No doubt in my mind. So thanks to all the teachers who have helped in my education and will continue to help. I want to give special thanks to my mother. For waking me up each morning with the sweet, high-pitched tone of "Darnell, get up," as I would turn on the TV so she'd think I really got up. But after a while, I did. Thanks to my mother for taking me out of that other school I was in and putting me in this school. Thanks to the W.E.B brothers who pretty much didn't give me a hard time, but it could have been a little better. Sometimes they made me feel like I was vice principal working for free. The shoelace will continue to get better as long as the love is still good. I want to give special thanks to Bob Wine, who's also helped me in my quest for education. I want to give thanks to my boy Bo, who has helped me type. He has typed many of my papers, pushed me to graduate. And I want to thank Mommy Money, who has saw the leadership in me and helped me to fulfill my destiny.
The parents, the grandparents, the brothers and sisters, the supporters, the elders, and anyone else who I might have missed. I'm particularly glad to be here tonight because my son is graduating, because most of the faces in the front row I remember from when they were in kindergarten or first grade, and it's really gratifying to see them grow into young adults, young conscious adults. And part of why they've grown into young conscious adults is because their teachers have had high expectations. There's been a lot of studies that show that there's a correlation between student achievement and the expectations of their teachers. If the teachers expect higher things, the students will achieve higher things. If the teachers expect them to achieve little or nothing, then students will achieve little or nothing. Well, those expectations continue as you graduate from W.E.B. DuBois Prep School. And on behalf of the Michigan Region of CB, I'd like to share with you 10 things that we expect you to do. Listen carefully. We expect you to proudly embrace African culture and spirituality, to put our Creator at the forefront of everything that you do, and to live the values of Ma'a, truth, justice, harmony, reciprocity. We expect you to respect your elders at all times. We expect you to be a positive role model for your peers and for those younger than you. We expect that you will excel as you continue your schooling or training. We expect that you will work to make our people self-defining, self-determining, and self-reliant. We expect that you will volunteer your time to develop African-centered institutions, those that currently exist and those that you will play a role in building. We expect that you will develop strong families and that your relationships with those of the opposite sex have the goal of building family. We expect that you will visit and or live in Africa. We expect that you will not be a traitor or a sellout. We have too much treacherous, sold-out leadership in our community, and we need some young men and women who have strong backbones, who are courageous, and who are incorruptible. We expect finally that you will strive for optimal human development, and you will be a light set up on a hill that those around you can see, and that you will guide them to an understanding of what it takes to be free. Thank you.
You don't know what people think of you, and when you're in the heat of battle. A lot of things are said, a lot of things are done, and nights like tonight really make you feel good when people recognize you for the thankless hours that you put in sometimes working with our students. When Mommy asked me to do this, she didn't tell me how much time I had. And I talk for a living. So I went home and I thought about this, and I didn't put anything together last night, but I woke up with it on my mind. And this subject that I'm going to deal with today is the subject of my first book. And Africa's new revolutionaries are what we're trying to create. We're going into a new millennium, which I don't think anyone in here saw another millennium. We're going into a new millennium, 1,000 years. And as we go into this next 1,000 years, what will our place be in it? As we look at our graduates going here, these are the leadership for the new millennium. In the next 30 years, their children will be graduating and moving on, and it will be their turn to be the leadership for the world. The new revolutionaries for a new millennium. And I thought about this subject and I said, schools are like planetariums that have boxes of mixed up seeds. You don't really know what the seeds are when you get a box full of mixed up seeds and you kind of throw them out into the ground, and then things start to grow. And as things start to grow, schools and teachers only plant the seeds. The roots grow deep or as shallow as the students want them to grow. Sometimes it's out of their control, but usually it's in their control, where their roots can go as deep as they want them or as shallow as they want them. Then the plant begins to grow, some a little taller than others, some a little wider than others, some a little louder than others. Then you find yourself now about to step out into the sun, step out into the wind, step out into the snow, step out into the rain. Are your roots deep enough to withstand the elements? Or will you wilt in the sun, wash away in the rain, break under the pressure of the wind, or freeze in the snow? These are all the questions that are yet to be answered, and no one can answer these questions but you. Regardless of how many people try to answer the questions for you, no one can answer those questions but you. How far will you go? Will you become a traitor? Will you become a leader? Like I had people come up to me and say, I'm a woman. Do you think I could be a teacher? Somebody that you really wouldn't think that's going to say they want to be a teacher. Kwame came up to me and said, I want to be a teacher. And I told him, I said, man, you would make a great teacher because he loves to have fun. He's one of the most knowledgeable young men that I know. And a lot of times people look at our young people and prejudge them or judge them by how they act when they're children. They're just growing up into being men and women now. And I see something in Kwame where he could be a president of an African country. He could be the leadership that we really need. Then you have other people that say, well, I want to start a business right off, and I got the plan. I've been working on this plan for years. And sometimes people don't see the plan, but then they pull a little piece of paper out of their pocket. They've been drawing up plans and doing floor plans and architectural plans and all kind of things. And then what people think they're not doing anything. But we see, going into the 21st century, we have to create what I'm going to coin a phrase as being deep thinkers. Deep thinkers. From 1500 to 1700, we were survivors here. We were not allowed to think. We were taken away from a thinking existence. During the 1800s, we thought about how to survive. We began to think about how to survive. During the 1900s, we did get some thinkers, and the thinkers were thinking how our people could become educated. Thinkers like W.E.B. DuBois, Marcus Garvey was thinking about how we could put together a nation of people with a flag of our own. But now we're moving into the 21st century where the thinking has to be deep, because the thinking has to be on how do we become healed as a people. Our children will become the ones that would think about the things that would bring us back to the people that we need to be. Deep thinking. Thinking like we thought when we built the pyramid. Thinking that we thought when we built and put together all the religions of the world. Thinking when we wrote treaties on mathematics and science. Those types of deep thinking will have to go back into thinking about how do we become healed so that we can become the people that we need to be. These are the people that are going to do that. And many times we prejudge them when they're still children and they have not yet become what they are going to be. I see leadership here. I mean, it's some thinkers here that kept me up nights. People like Karita will keep you up at night thinking about how you're going to teach this person. Because they're going to challenge you on every step of the way, which is good. Some people can't handle it. But if we're going to be teachers, we want our children to challenge us. She's a challenger. And she's about to go away to university now. And there's no one in any university, anywhere in the world that can outthink her, that can outwit her. I'm not going to take much time. We're going to have to talk about this at a later time, because I went home and I put together a 2-hour lecture. And I came back today and Mama Hasina said I had 2 minutes. One more thing about these deep thinkers. Deep thinkers will create the process to make us whole again. Deep thinkers will create the process to create other deep thinkers that will run the world. The circle is almost complete, where the meek will inherit the earth. The destroyers are even getting tired of destroying, because they're destroying themselves. And I want to throw this out to you all. This is the beginning. What will it be? This is the beginning. What will it be? This is the beginning. What will it be?
You want to think about the league? I said I wasn't going to say anything, but it's something that I have to say, Mommy mine. With Kirita, Wale, Darnell, please stand. These are graduating members of the Pyramid Performing Theater. And I want to thank you for your work, for your commitment, for your tireless rehearsing. And I want you to know that we have something special coming for you. And I have to say, Peely, Darnell, and Kirita are the last graduates of the original company that began 11 years ago. And I'm just really proud of them, to remember them when they were little, small people, learning to dance and taking people by storm and being gracious as diplomats when they welcomed Nelson Mandela at the airport. And they were only 9 and 10 years old. And I'm so proud of all of you. And to the rest of you, Taifa and Mpya, you ought to sit down. And even though we've struggled and we've argued, it has been an honor being your advisor, being your counselor. And I am proud to say that indeed out of chaos comes order. Because they let them not know what they wanted to be, who they wanted, what they wanted to do, where they wanted to go. People are walking out these doors on their way to being artists and doctors, lawyers, physical therapists, teachers, writers, designers, forensic specialists, architects, businessmen, nation builders. And I am so proud of you. I love all of you dearly. At this time, we have a special selection from our choir that is their gift to our graduating class.
That's my mic. I would like to say that we were thinking about, they had mentioned to me that graduation is coming up. And so we were trying to come up with a song, and I said, well, why don't you write a song? And maybe 10 seconds after I suggested that, we were working on a song. I mean, their creativity is just beyond. And I love coming to work with them, and I hope you enjoy the song.
Your
Boys Prep Choir. This time, before we move on with our program, I will be remiss if I did not recognize the wonderful people that I work with every day. I'd like while we were at the Boys Prep School and Aisha Shule to please stand. One last recognition, but I'd like our alumni to please stand. This year we were very blessed to have in our midst what we call healthy competition. The two sisters I'm going to present to you, the valedictorian for the class of 1999, worked tirelessly to be scholars. Neck and neck, all the way. Scholarly. Good competition. Good competition. Let's see if we both can earn an A. I got an A, you got an A. I got a B, you got a B. And that competition has led them to the head of their class. And we are very proud of them. And I'm very proud to present them. Mama Kibi Candy Quates and Mama Muflasina Hodge, our valedictorian.
All my teachers and all my friends for being there.
Shamika Nichols, Shatisha Noel, and any of those who I've forgotten, as well as my graduating class for graduating along with me. Any of those who I've forgotten, I still love you, don't feel left out, and I thank you all.
Before I start, elders, I have permission to speak. Thank you. Greetings, elders, Queen mothers out here, Mama Mpya, Mama Imani, Board of Directors, member of the faculty, family, friends, students, and guests. Welcome to the commencement ceremony for the graduating class of 1999. First and foremost, I would like to thank God, the Almighty Creator, for blessing me with life. I want to be as open and honest with you as I can. When Mama Imani first told me I had to speak, I tried everything in my power to get out of it. But now that I'm here standing before you as co-valedictorian, I'm pleased to say that I'm honored and privileged. I guess I'm supposed to tell you how hard I've worked, how many nights of sleep I missed for trying to type 10 pages by day rate, or maybe I should recall the many times I've been labeled nerd and overachiever by my classmates. Or I could talk about how much time, minutes, hours, days, months, years of writing, reading, spelling, memorizing poems and plays, speeches and pledges, and the list goes on. But I'd rather focus on what it is that cannot be written in essays or written down in books. The Shule has been my backbone, my life support, so to speak. I remember coming back to the Shule after 5 years of being in California, and I was afraid that after so many years and so many changes, I wouldn't be able to adapt and therefore not be accepted. But after just one day, I began to feel that I had never left, and now as I look back, I can barely believe that it's all coming to an end, or should I say, just in the beginning. The Shule has shaped my life, our lives, in various ways, has given us the opportunity to explore and be our African selves. Through rites of passage, we learn discipline, unity, and pride. Through our daily studies, we have acquired knowledge that will carry us off to places yet unknown. In drama, dance, and art, we learn to express our innermost feelings by exploring our own being. Just by being together day after day, we are formed a bond that is both unending and indestructible. As we venture out into the world, we must realize that we are truly leading the way for those to come. It is up to us to go into the world ready to take on every obstacle and challenge that life throws at us. And believe me, there will be challenges. Sometimes you might feel like giving up, throwing in the towel. But you must know that in order to make it to better days, you have to first make it through the night.
Wow.
Rainbows are only the aftershocks of storms. And we should all thank the Creator now for giving us the strength to chase the rainbow and find the pot. Standing here before you, I'm taking a vow to always be here when you need me, to always try in every way that I can to live by and uphold the values and teachings given to me by the Shule, family, and friends. I vow to lead the way for the children so they may reach the goals that I have yet to dream up. And most importantly, I vow to be true to myself. To my fellow classmates, please remember one simple quote. Don't wait for extraordinary opportunities. Seize common ones and make them great. To the class of 2000, the great W.E.B, the fear to revere Y2K. The words I leave you are filled with the lessons are many. Only a fool and water go the way that I've diverted. It is up to you to make your own path and fulfill your own destiny, lest you go astray. Mama Hasina and Mama Imani, whose dreams have become our reality. To Baba Mo and Mama Lynn, who have helped me to see the world in color. To Baba Aunt, who has constantly reminded me to keep it simple. To Baba Joe, who just wanted my name in the speech. To Mama Gondiswa, who has challenged me to go beyond time and space. And to all of my little in my family, disciplinarians, and friends, and I want you to know that I love you. To my aunt and uncle who have put up with my never-ending demands, I am eternally grateful. To my father, thank you for my life. No matter what, I will always be your good girl. To my grandfather, who has been my strong tower and protection. I love you and appreciate you so much.
I didn't forget you, never could, never will. Love you too. To Lance, buddy, keep on shining, and one day the world will appreciate your light. Candy, first, the Alpha, you know the deal. Sisters forever in the day. Oh yeah, you know when that porn star did, you know to do it, right? To Peely, it's been 12 years and counting. Friendship is strong, should be cherished. Let's hold tight while it lasts. To Kwame, what can I say? We've been through a lot, but nothing like us on here the road. Thank you for being my shoulder to lean on and the rock on which I stumbled. You really have been everything. Much love and respect. To the class of 99, I want to leave you with the words of Voice Command. How can I say goodbye to what we had? The good times that made us laugh, and outweigh the bad. And I thought we'd get to see forever. Forever is gone away. It is so hard to say yesterday. Good thing I don't have to.
At this time, I have the privilege of introducing our keynote speaker. All week, I confused things. Who is our speaker? Who is our speaker? Who is our speaker? And I told him I couldn't tell. It was a mystery. But as we thought about it, we thought about you all and your theme for this year, that you are the finishing touch on this century. We thought it only fitting that your journey ends where it began. Our keynote speaker has been an educator for over 30 years. First in the Detroit Public Schools, where she was instrumental in getting the name of Eastern High School changed to that of Martin Luther King Junior High School. At the Oakland Prep School, where she helped brothers and sisters who have been thrown away by society achieve their goals and move on to college and earn college degrees and become nation builders and productive members of our society. At the Ethnic Studies Center, where she made our culture known to those who did not know about us. At Wayne State University, bringing a new light to humanities. And finally, with a group of very special people, in 1974, founding the Alexander Crummell Affirmative School that will one day become Aisha Shule, that will one day become DuBois Prep Academy. It is my honor and privilege to introduce my first teacher, my mother, our mother, and say Mama Imani Humphrey.
And I think the spirit, creative force, is really among us because of the things that have already been said. I'm going to kind of repeat some of those. I'm going to hope that I reinforce some of those with my comments. But first, I want to thank the choir. I am just so impressed.
Yes, right.
Bobby Preston is a magician. They've only been working together about 8 weeks. About 8 weeks, maybe not that long. They missed some rehearsals. We had some conflicts with scheduling. So, for them to put those songs together under his direction and to write a song for the class of 99, which we will, of course, use at every graduation from now on. Into things that I wanted to share with you. So I want you to bear with me, and I'd like to extend our greetings, of course, to my sister, Queen Mother Mama Ata Mama Mpya. We struggled a long time together. members of the Detroit Council of Elders, Aisha Shule DuBois, Preparatory Academy board members, they work hard with us and for you. Behind the scenes, you don't get to see them much, but they're very much a part of our village. Distinguished guest, I have Shule Walimu, our dynamic faculty, and I was going to ask you to stand, but since you've already been asked to present yourselves, we'll move right along. Excuse me. I'd like for the parents of the graduates to stand. Thank you for being here, and not only tonight, but all along. And most especially, I would like to greet my children, my baby adults now, who are stepping out. You are our honorees of the hour. Please, again, salute the class of '99. Each of you is very special to me, but of course I'd like to recognize Keely, my grandson is graduating tonight. Please stand here. We continue to give honor to our Creator, the great and good God of our ancestors, who brought us as a people this far and placed us in the middle of His plan. We have something to do, Omani. We have a lot to do. We want to thank Him for continuously giving each generation, and now we give it to you, hope, the gift of hope, and evidence, Kwame, of the righteousness of our struggle. You are the fruits of our labors. You show us that by graduating, by having finished, completing this part of your education, that we are a people who do not give up. I think every one of you at one point or the other was discouraged, wanted to walk away, wanted to throw in the books. But we wouldn't let you, we knew you didn't really want to, and we knew that we would see you sitting here on this day, that you would be glad that this is a completion. And so we see the Creator using you and all who graduate this spring as a sign that we should indeed overcome. We also thank your parents and family members and all the teachers for the love and support and guidance that they continue to give to you, understanding that it does indeed take a village. We can't do this by ourselves. We are celebrating our 25th anniversary as an institution. And I think our theme for this year, for this celebration, is the school that love built. These are some loving children. And I know that they are loving because they are loved. These are some loving children who could produce a song like that for their classmates. These are some loving children who would stay, help, would clean up, help their younger brothers and sisters, willingly, gladly, joyfully do things that are way beyond anything that a student is expected to do. We know that they are loved and that they give us a lot of love, and they have helped build this institution by what they do. If you could just be there on a daily basis and see what they do, you would be amazed. You'd be absolutely amazed. They are incredible. Our philosophy is that all African children are gifted.
Wow.
They're gifted. These children are gifted. All of our children are in every school. But we have been especially blessed to have the great children whose parents have decided to bring them here. So we thank you for that. We thank you for being part of our village. You know we won't let you go. You will always be here. And we want to thank and acknowledge you graduates, for your self-determination, for your vision, because you told us what you think will happen tomorrow. We appreciate you and thank you for your faith and your commitment in the future. And I know that you now stand in front of a long line of those who come before you and those who affirm before the world that we value education, that we are capable of excellence, and that we will fiercely guard our right to conserve and practice our own cultural traditions. A few nights ago, on 2020, they had a segment that dealt with, I told you all this, had a segment that dealt with black children who criticize and demean their peers who are also black if they strive for excellence, if they strive for academic achievement. They are teased and ostracized and told that they are trying to be white. Spike Lee was one of the persons who was interviewed, and he said, "What is this nonsense? When did white get to mean smart and black get to mean dumb?" And we talked about that among ourselves, and we wondered, how is it, these generations that we talk about that came before us, how is it that people with no formal education, or third grade education, or fifth grade, or eighth grade education, were able often to get 5, 6, 7, 10 kids through college? How were they able to implant a value like that in them? People who were very poor, people who had very little, they were able to convince their children that this is what we have to do. We call it Nia. We want to say that it's such an honor to address you because this is a very particular moment. This is our 25th anniversary year, and this is the last year of the 20th century. 100 years. This is also the last year of a millennium. 1,000 years. Now I want you to listen. 1,000 years ago, we lived as ancestors. Got that? That's the deep thought and wonder. 1,000 years ago, we lived as ancestors in our own land, in our own nations. We were practicing science. We were applying mathematical concepts to barter and music. We were measuring seasons. We were predicting what they would yield, when the waters would rise or fall, and where the stars would stand. We were governing kingdoms, mining precious minerals, metals and gems. We were creating art. We were weaving cloth and epic tales of valor. We were farming the land, traveling freely across waters, communicating across the continent, training armies, negotiating peace treaties, and planning marriages, building temples and universities, and paying homage to the gods of our mothers and fathers. That's what we were doing 1,000 years ago. 100 years ago, 1899, we were about 35 years out of the world's worst, most dismal and degrading enslavement. We all know the story of the captivity and the devastation perpetrated against our people. The post-slavery period, which we are still in, has been a mighty up-mountain struggle, not an uphill. Up-mountain struggle for the right to live as liberated people. as members of the human family. Yet today, we can stand here and celebrate not just our graduates, but all who came before us. My daughter, Lisa, who is here, Lisa is also an alumni, where are you? Alumni of the Chule, brought me this week's newsletter, the good news about Black America. And there's a parenthetical statement after it that says, and why many blacks aren't celebrated. There's some statistics in here that I want to share with you. I should have put a marker in here so I could find my place. Poll taken. Improvement is a myth, they say. I can't find the section that I wanted to read you. But it talks about the economy, the overall American economy, how it has moved up, it's been prosperous, it has expanded since 1991 for the other team. And because of that, it has somehow allowed blacks to benefit from that, is what it says. It says, more blacks have entered the realm of the privileged and have offices in or tantalizingly near to the corridors of corporate and political power. Some control multi-million-dollar budgets and reside in luxurious gated communities. They are, by any criteria, living large. Walking testaments to the transformative power, to the possibility of America. Be careful. Be careful. This sunniness is reflected in the country's popular imagination. You don't have to stand up if you're going to go to sleep. You know I don't let you sleep in my class. You are not going to sleep while I'm talking to you. Sit up. Sit up. This sunniness, this economic sunniness, is reflected in the country's popular imagination, which freely celebrates the appeal and accomplishments of African Americans. Michael Jordan, Lauryn Hill, Colin Powell. It says, pick your icon. If you are touched at all by American culture, your idol is likely to be black, whether you're black or not. Okay. There have always been black successes and superstar achievers, but never before has black been quite so beautiful to so many admirers of every hue. Today's upswing in black fortune is unfolding in a singular context against a backdrop of a superheated economy. But it is not good tidings for all black people. It would be a mistake to assume that today's good times have brought good tidings to all blacks. Why is that? It has not. More black men brothers, more black men than ever languish in prisons. Black academic achievement, sisters and brothers, mamas and babas, still lags behind that of whites. Why is that? And suicides among young black men have risen sharply, reflecting a deep, deep sense of hopelessness. That's the other side of this opulence and economic success that some of our people are enjoying. But we can still stand here today and celebrate you who graduated and all who came before us. Dr. DuBois designates those who came before us as the thinker, the worker, and the dreamer. The thinker, Lucina, the worker, and the dreamer. This is also your role in the continuum of African progress. As thinker, Baba Mwanga already told you, you must examine and analyze and think through the problems, dilemmas, and paradoxes of the black community and black life, and come up with the solutions and plans. And as a worker, as a thinker, you're going to think about these things, figure out how to do it. As a worker, you do the labor. A lot of people talk. And I remind you of what we say all the time, a quote from Baba Hakeem Madabuti. You all help me with this. Everything good and accomplished in this world takes work. Everything else is job. Okay, let's say it again. Everything good and accomplished in this world takes work, and everything else is job. So you're going to be a thinker, but you have to be a worker. You have to be a worker. So as a worker, you do the labor required, and you manifest the plan. It comes to life, has flesh on it. And as a dreamer, you see a positive future for your lifetime and for those who will follow. We as a people have never thought in terms of just what we need for ourselves, just for us, for our generation. What we do is for the next generation, for the next, the next, the next, the next. Had this not been a way of thinking, a mentality among our people, we would not be here tonight. If they had given up those wonderful ancestors, if they had given up, if they had given in, if they had said this is hopeless, can't do this no more, we're going to be destroyed, and just hung it up, laid down and died, we would not be here. But that is not our way. Our way is to see ahead. We are seers as well as dreamers. Tonight, it is fitting to ask you to remember some of the success stories of those ancestors that you've heard while you were in school and that your parents have told you. And they're not all in the books. You have those stories in your own family. You need to talk to your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, your aunties and uncles, your older sisters. Get your family stories because they tell you who you are. You'll find some amazing information. You'll find some amazing incidents. You'll find some harrowing experiences. You'll find some real bravery and heroism right in your own family. And then remember those heroic deeds. We are a people who have been victorious. We're still fighting the war, but our history is full of victory. The war rages on, so you have to be prepared to deal with that on all fronts by being a thinker, a worker, and a dreamer. You have to dream the dream because after victory comes peace. And after peace comes prosperity. And with peace and prosperity, you have progress. It's a very simple formula. And you have to remember that. You remember that as you think, work, and dream. These heroic deeds of our own people must always be the standard. Their example and perseverance illuminate the dark corners of struggle when we are down or discouraged or frustrated. We're in a bad time right now, folks in the city of Detroit. We are being assaulted on all fronts. There is a concerted effort to break the spirit of African people in Detroit and to usurp our rights, those which we are supposed to have and those which we have fought for a long time. Judicial, education, jobs, housing, everything that belongs to us is being eroded. We cannot sleep on this. You all have to get involved. You have to find out what's going on and pick your battle. You are not to expend yourself by trying to be everything to everybody. everybody and in everything everywhere at one time. You can't do it. But you can pick your battle. Save your energy, save your strategy, save your best weapon, your best shot for the battle that you pick. Also, you have to pick your allies. And sometimes who they are is very surprising. And you have to be watchful for your enemies. Sometimes the enemy looks like us, talks like us, but they do not walk like us. So you have to watch the way people walk, and be a thinker, and then do the work that it takes to move these people out of our way. We get frustrated sometimes with the slow pace of progress and with the elusiveness of success. Sometimes we don't get what we want. We don't get what we think we should get that first time. Sometimes we would say we prayed for something and we didn't get it, so we ain't praying no more. Wasn't no answer. The answer was no. The answer was wait. The answer was, you're not ready for that yet. The answer was, I got something better for you. But I know when you're ready for it. So be patient with that. As a thinker, we can look down, or look up to the ancestors for inspiration, because they always knew about a higher power. They knew from whence their strength came, as Mama Mpya said when she prayed with us. As a worker, you can understand that there are no quick fixes and no shortcuts to achieving our goals. Everything good is accomplished in this world takes work, and everything else is job. Challenges, difficulties, and problems can be met. There's nothing that you can't do. You said it, Ajahn. Struggle will make us strong. And as the African proverb teaches us, even in every adversity, there is surely a blessing. Our history also teaches us that we have been blessed with the ability to sustain our spirits with this unshakable faith, and it ain't always going to be like this. It's going to be better. It's going to be better. Things are going to get better. This faith was unshakable even under the most degrading circumstances. Slavery, poverty, deprivation, oppression, and racism. They are still among us. They haunt us every day. But as a dreamer, your spirit connects us with the rest and the best of humanity. Because we understand suffering and loss, and we know that the God within you will always rise. You are sacred to us. And we see that where there is struggle, as Frederick Douglass taught us, there is always progress. We have been sometimes led to feel sorry for ourselves. And there are two syndromes that we fall prey to. One, we see ourselves as victims. If it wasn't for the white man, we wouldn't have this, that, or the other. We ain't never going to be it. Nobody's going to let us do anything. Self-determination doesn't talk like that. Nobody has control over our destiny. Even our ancestors who were enslaved, those who were able to endure, did not believe, Ajahn, that somebody had power over them. They retained their own power. So they did not feel like victims. They felt like what they were, captives, figuring a way out. Figuring a way out. The other syndrome that we fall into is that I ain't gonna be bothered with this mess. I'm just going to do what I got to do, and that's it. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to take care of my family, and that's it. That's not the right approach. We can't do that. We can't do that because I am, because we are. We are because I am. I cannot separate myself from my brothers and sisters, from my people. I will have to work hard to try to educate them. All of you will become educators. That's part of being a thinker, a worker, and a dreamer, that you continue to educate people. Struggle with them. If you don't get your point across one day, come back and do it on another day. We want you to think about what you can do to prepare for the next stage of your life, because this is called a commencement. Commencement begins something. It's the beginning. You are closing the door on one house and you're going into another. So you already know about choices. Some of you made choices for your college. Some of you made choices for family life. Some of you made choices to go into business. Some of you made choices to go and work for a year or so before you go to school. They're all good. Make your plan and work it and do it in your own time. Your parents bringing you to Aisha Shule, W.E.B. DuBois Preparatory Academy was one of the most important decisions they ever made for you. They made a choice to put you there. And they had their reasons. And we always say that we are together. Even as we sit here in this auditorium tonight, it has been decreed. Divine order brings us together. And we're together for a while, and then we go our separate ways. But we have touched each other's lives. We have taught and learned together. We will never be the same after our encounter with each other. And each of you has left something very special as a legacy in the Shule. And now it's your turn to leave a legacy wherever else you go. There's so much work that we have to do, thinkers, workers, and dreamers. We have to reconstruct history for the world because it's distorted. Important things have been left out. Mpya says there's something called temporal tampering. They tamper with timelines to put people out or in, drop them out or in wherever they choose. We have to reconstruct history, and we have to rid the world of ignorance. You got to talk to people. The way you're going to do that, though, is to think deeply, but you got to study. There's no shortcuts to study. You just got to read it, they'll say. Not readers. Andrea, you got to read it. You got to study. Mpya always tells us, Mama Mpya, read, study, work, study, read, study, work, study, read, study, work, study, read. That's your life. That's your life. So you have to keep going, keep going. We have a lot of work to do. We not only have to rid the world of ignorance, but thinkers, workers, and dreamers must become peacekeepers. We've got to keep ourselves healthy in mind, body, and spirit. We have to work to keep our families together by learning to listen and talk and respect one another. We cannot be arrogant about what we have and what we know. Humility is what you need in order to not judge other people. We have to work to improve ourselves and to clean our communities, not only of litter and foul language, but of negative thoughts and attitudes about what we can't do. One of the brothers up here said, with God, all things are possible. We are spiritual people. We should never turn our faces from our Creator or our backs on our ancestors. We'll be well flanked if we remember what we are supposed to do. We must return to the African concept of the extended family, where every adult, which is what we practice in the Shule as mamas and babas, every adult is parent to every child and resolve to make sure that no elder is hungry, no man is homeless. In a country like this, nobody should be without food or shelter. what we have so much of. It seems little to us sometimes, but we do have so much. You students have been called by some people aristocrats because somebody drives you around, buys your clothes, gets you tickets to the concerts, runs up to school with your lunch and your gym clothes and your swimming suit. You fly all over the country, some of you've been over the world. You're spoiled. You're spoiled. I like spoiled, but I don't like brats. I like spoiled. Children are the reward of life, traditional wisdom teaches us. And so as that, we treasure them and we favor them. But we also have to be sure that they have the discipline that they need to maintain their own life as a self-determining person. We have to be sure that no one suffers from poor health. We are a healing people. We are a healing people. We can comfort each other, we can advise each other, we can guide each other. And you all have learned to do that very well. I'm proud of you. What I want to ask you to do beyond the things is that you see that our institutions and values are preserved. You are the conservators now of our culture. It's up to you to see that it is preserved, that what is good for me must be good for our people. As budding entrepreneurs, you must learn to make jobs and not take jobs. All of you need to be wealthy in your own right. You need to be able to give people employment. You need to be able to do things that are going to inspire people to stand up for themselves. We want you to make contact with one another, plan together, work together, dream together, continue to practice the values of the indigenous Saba, to support and develop your community, thinkers, love your people, respect and resurrect your history, honor our men and women and the struggle of the elders, care for life, dreamers. We will prosper when we care for and share with one another. Workers fight to eradicate racism without and combat bigotry within our own hearts. I heard Chris Rock say one night, we're always worried about white people don't like black people. Well, black people don't like black people either. We have to combat the bigotry in our own hearts. We have to wage war against ignorance. Thinkers concentrate on empowerment and developing the quality of life. I want to close with a letter that was written for the class of '96, our first graduating class. That was a historic moment, and so is this. So I thought that I would revive this letter and share it with you. Then I'll be finished. What I want to say to you, Taifa and Mpya. Taifa and Mpya, for those of you who don't know what that means, is Kiswahili for New Nation. Each of our senior classes is called Taifa and Mpya. We are releasing them as new nation builders. They will do that wherever they go. They will take that thought with them. They will think deeply. But what this letter says is each year, every graduating class is viewed by family, teachers, and friends with pride and anticipation. We are no exception as parents and teachers to this infectious surge of hope in another generation, the class of '99. However, for you as graduates of W.E.B. DuBois Preparatory Academy, we go beyond the usual exuberance because you have the distinction of being history makers. Your rights for this part of your life are complete. The passage has been made. You now stand at the open door of adulthood, facing choices, adventures, experiences, decisions, relationships, and responsibilities. I am so very proud of you. You have emerged from your life studies as an important historic collective. You're the class of '99. To your credit and your parents, you boldly went into the morass of high school years not timidly, but as academic pioneers and cultural engineers, carving out a whole new territory, establishing a new kind of secondary education in the state of Michigan. There is no other high school like yours. There's no other high school like yours. Not in the state of Michigan, in the educational community of the city of Detroit. So you, by being here, and you alumni, this is for you also, you do give credence to African-centered education.
That's right.
You have accepted this quest for excellence via African-centered education, which requires sacrifice, discipline, and seriousness of purpose. You knew that there would be no traditional athletic program and few amenities by big city high school standards. So instead of pom-poms and football games, your excitement had to come from participating in think tank simulations, creating art and science projects, problem solving of political issues that impact the lives of our people, and crafting plans for a future based on tenets of self-reliance and self-determination. Instead of basketball and intramural victories, your accolades have come from academic achievement and demonstrated cultural excellence. You are bad. Instead of setting your sights on being popular, you finally set your sights on being seriously smart and traded the short-lived fads of what's in for nation-building foundational values of the Industrial South. You accepted and wore a school uniform in place of the latest style. You studied, analyzed, critiqued, and debated. In the spirit of your people's tradition, you have danced and drummed and sung, sharing your talent and culture with all kinds of people. You have shaped the school, established precedent and tradition. Those of you who were the first class, second, third, and now those of you who are the fourth class, the class of 99. You have brought tears to your teachers' eyes. With your words of young wisdom, you have brought smiles and laughter to their hearts with your wit and humor. You have led your peers by example. You're strong. You have demonstrated that we still have perseverance, dignity, and vision. Pamoja Tutashinga. Surely you represent the finest potential of our youth. You do. You are the finest. You are that talented tenth that DuBois talked about. He dreamed about. You are the finest potential of our youth. And so the whole village raises you up because you elevate us. You shine on our extended African family like the rising suns of all our tomorrows. We bask in your brightness. We celebrate your new day. The ancestors surely smile. As you go forward learning new ways, listening to new ideas, let African-centeredness keep you focused. Don't let anybody turn you around. Learn from everybody. You should be strong enough to interact with anybody, but do not lose your soul. Stay strong. Don't ever be ashamed. Don't ever be ashamed or allow anyone to make you ashamed of being a revolutionary. Were it not for people with vision and bold leadership, willing to speak out and fight against inequality, injustice, racism, and exploitation, there would never be changes in government. There would never be changes in conduct, public conduct and policy, nor in corporate sentiment and treatment of its workers, nor in the quality of life for people. Be innovative. You all are different. We don't even know what you're going to be able to do with that. We know it's going to be grand. We know it's going to be powerful. We know it's going to be wonderful. Be activists. Pick your battles. You have to stand for something. Get busy and get involved with something. Be an activist. Be a civil rights activist. Be a human rights activist. Be an animal rights activist. Be a planet rights activist. love the trees, or save the children. Something, you gotta do something. You gotta do something. Be leaders, you are. Be leaders. Be bold. And sometimes a leader doesn't have to say anything. A leader, everything good accomplished in this world takes work. Be bold. Stay beautiful. You are so beautiful. You are so beautiful. Stay beautiful. And remember the little passage. We trust you. We support you. We love you. Peace. Freedom belongs to you. Thank you.
Board members, would you please join me in the lunch about the word, please? Andrea, please. Evans. Lucasina Hatch. Carlinda Aziza Diz. Candy Olabisi King. Kwame Beard. Bomani Joe. Darnell Osmond Wilson. Anduela Yakini. Humphrey.
PJ. That's PJ.
Abdul Rasul.
Chaka, chaka.
Elders, mamas, babas, brothers, sisters, friends, cousins, sisters, brothers, the graduated class of 1999 from DuBois Preparatory.
Y'all too crazy.
I gotta get some pictures. Hold on, y'all can't take all these pictures of me. Y'all can't take.
Before we have our benediction, I would like to ask that when we have our reception that you please allow the graduates to get out of the auditorium first. They're going to form a receiving line so that you all can greet them and congratulate them. Also, there'll be two sisters at the rear door. Sisters, and your grace to give us this day to celebrate, to give us this day to send our children out into the world to be nation builders, to be unifiers, to be peacemakers, to be dreamers, to be thinkers, to be workers, to become mothers and fathers, to build families and communities. We thank you for the community that is here to share with them and support them with arms of love and grace. We thank you most of all for the gift of Aisha Shule DuBois Academy and for allowing those of us who are there to be there at this time in this place in history. We ask that our graduates, as they go into the world, that they accept their mission with purpose, with direction, with courage, with commitment, with devotion, with undying faith. These and all blessings we ask in the name of our ancestors, and in the name of the Most High God, we say, Ashe.
Hey Lisa, how you doing? All right. Okay.
Could you please let them know?
Nope. We'll have to wait 1 minute. Have to wait all day.
You gonna greet people outside?
It's all right. I'll wait all day. All right.
Let's go.
All right.
Let's go.
All right. All right.